Welcome to Ask a New York City Tour Guide. On this episode, we are looking at some general advice. Let's see what the guides have to say. Stick around till the end. That's where my advice is. So what is your best general advice for first-time visitors in New York City?
Well, my best general advice would be, okay, take a look at the iconic places and something, but get lost in the city. Feel it, smell it, buy it. There are so many things to do in New York City, but mostly you have to enjoy the city from every sensorial point of view. So do everything to be enormously engaged.
My best general advice for somebody visiting for the first time is to not be afraid to talk to locals when you're on the street, to ask for directions, to explore things, to ask what restaurants they like. Talk to people. We have a reputation in New York as being a little mean. We're not. We're just busy.
My best general advice for first-time visitors to New York City is to plan 2.5 things per day. Something you want to do during the day, something you want to do at night, and one place to eat. You don't have to plan everything, but you should plan something. Everything beyond those 2.5 things is gravy.
First-time visitors to New York City, you definitely need a really good pair of walking shoes. Do not skimp on this. You don't need to necessarily spend a ton of money, but try on a lot of pairs. Find the most comfortable walking shoes you can find and bring those. And maybe a few other pairs of shoes, but trust me, you're gonna need them. There's a lot of walking.
My best advice for first-time visitors is to not try to do too much. New York is one of those places you can live here for a lifetime and, still not cover everything. And, you might only have a little bit of time, but if you try to do everything, you are absolutely going to exhaust yourself. So figure out what you really want to see and then leave a little bit of time in your schedule for a little bit of spontaneity, just because I don't want you going home too exhausted.
My best general advice for first timers, it's lower your expectations. So some people, they want to find the best pizza, the best restaurant, the best tour, and you're never going to find the best tour or the best pizza. Everything is good. And my second advice is to learn about the city, to study about the city, because New York is fascinating and has so many layers and levels. So you have to study, you have to understand the origin of the city, to understand how or why New York is New York.
Number one, stay to the right and don't stand in front of doorways. But more seriously, if you can, at all costs, avoid eating in Times Square. Stay at least 2 blocks outside of Times Square for anything you're looking to eat. I get it. The Olive Garden has 3 floors. It's very exciting. You're in New York. You can get literally any kind of food that you want here. So I would not go wasting it on, well, I won't name any more names, but you know who they are.
The first best advice I would give to someone who's never been to New York before is to take a guided tour first thing, like on your first day. Back when I used to work on a double-decker bus, it was so common that we'd be going through a cool, artistic neighborhood like Greenwich Village. I'll be talking about its history, and I'll hear someone say, "This is so great. I wish I knew this was here. Today is my last day." Mm-hmm. So I would definitely advise to do that kind of thing first, so that you have your overview and you know how and where you want to spend your free time later on.
My best general advice for a first-time visitor to New York City is do not try to do too much. Concentrate on a few things, and particularly it depends on how much time you have, but don't try to do everything at once. You could live in this city and not see everything. So pick out maybe one thing for each person in your party really wants to see, and then hone in on that, okay?
Any first-time visitor to New York City is more than welcome. We love our visitors. You're likely to get lost at some point, and that's totally fine. But if you get lost, pull to the side of the street or the sidewalk and look on your phone. Please do not stop right in the center of the sidewalk to check your phone. That way you won't get run over, and that way everyone's happy.
My best advice for a first-time visitor to New York City is go for depth and not breadth. Don't do what I call the on-the-town tour. We're going to race up to see the Yankee Stadium and then down to go see the Statue of Liberty and then over to see the Brooklyn Bridge and then to go see the American Museum of Natural History. You won't get all that done in one day. Just go to one place for the day if you can, maybe two, and then finish out the evening by going to a park, having a nice dinner, going to a show, seeing something that you wouldn't see at home. That's my best advice for a first-time visitor.
My best advice for first-time visitors to New York City would be that you don't have to do everything that the guidebook says you have to do. Take some time to just walk around, enjoy the city, chill out.
My advice for first-time visitors to the city is to make reservations, get your tickets in advance, and get there early. If something's your priority, then make that the first stop that you go to in the morning and show up at least 15 minutes before opening time.
My best advice for first-time visitors to New York City is do not stop in the middle of the sidewalk. You will cause rage. I mean, so much rage. So just pull over. It doesn't matter left, right, just so that the traffic keep on going, because the sidewalks out here, we use the sidewalks as, just imagine your body is a car on the highway and our sidewalks are the highway, your body is a car. Like, people will bump right into you. So, and none of us have that kind of insurance. So just pull over, everything's fine, take your picture, have your conversation, and then when you're ready, double check and merge right back into traffic.
When it comes to new people who visit New York City for the first time, I think my best general advice is not to overload yourself. I feel like New York City is like the internet. It has everything, so you feel like you want to do everything, so you end up doing overstuffing yourself and you get overwhelmed. I think it's better if you just pick one or two core things to do in a day, focus on that, and let that be your experience for New York City. You could come back one day, or another thing that could happen is you try to do so much that you can't sit and pause and appreciate what's in front of you.
Well, I think the general consensus is don't overplan and enjoy yourself while you're here. For me, my best general advice is please don't plan anything huge your first day here. You're going to be just getting off a plane often, and you're going to be tired. The thing I like to do the first day that I get somewhere is I like to take one of the double-decker bus tours. It kind of gives you an overview of the city and kind of lets you not walk as much as you're going to, because you're going to walk a lot, hence the suggestion for comfortable shoes. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please like below, subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll get information on when the next one shows up. If you do have a question, let us know below, or you can write me at wecantourthat@gmail.com, and I'll make sure that you get in touch with any of the guides as well as get your question answered. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.